that I am live. Now, just before I got up, folks, by the way, uh, some idiot next door thinks that subwoofers are divine. If you hear any interference with those subwoofers, they're not going right now. You do me a solid by letting me know through Kimberly, my lovely wife, who is the producer for tonight's show. What is the show all about? What show are you talking about, dear sir, who I've never seen before? I just fell into your live stream. Um, I'm Michael Noland, and this is the bottom line Tribal Forum number 50, where we ask the question tonight um, from Black Sabbath to Aerosmith, are we at the beginning of the era of the final or uh, the absolute end show of shows? You know, like what we saw with Black Sabbath, right? Now, we've talked about never ending farewell tours here. This is a different thing. Everybody's talking about a farewell show now. Even UCR has gotten into the act. And we'll be discussing an article that they wrote. They're an online publication I use sometimes for data that I need to bring out. Sometimes I'll even feature an article from them. Okay. But first and foremost, see, those speakers are getting to me. It's throwing my rhythm off, baby. What are we going to do about that? Um, anyway, I wanted to make this stream something a little bit more special tonight. This is midweek, right? It's not the big Sunday night show that goes there. We usually take care of tribal business midweek, a whole lot, stuff like that. Well, the reason I'm bringing all of this up tonight to me is a tribal celebration. Now, what am I talking about? Well, the tribe in general has hit a whole lot new levels all of a sudden in an explosion of activity. Um, First of all, this is Tribal Forum number 50. When I was talking to my wife this morning about it being Tribal Forum number 50, and I wanted to kind of do something special for it, she said, 50? Have we done 50 of those? And I went, yeah, baby, we sure have. And that is an accomplishment. I remember when we hit 12 streams, I made such a big deal about it, didn't I? You longtime viewers know that I did. Um, but an even bigger congratulation goes out to a tribal member, if you guys are correct there. One of you mentioning, I noticed just before I got online that Royce from Royce in the House has hit 2,000 subscribers. We've been working for that for a long time, haven't we, folks? Now, Royce spent years getting to his first 1,000. He has accomplished doubling that in one less than one third the time. So congratulations, Royce, if you're out there. By the way, if you have a chance after you're done watching the stream today, I hear that he was doing a stream at 4:10 today. Right, him and I knew that we had discussed he was doing this, and I had told him I won't be able to see it until after. Otherwise, I'm always there live because he usually types in responses, but it's still there for review, and I encourage everybody to watch, to go ahead and watch that. Now, another celebration. I'm telling you, there's just oodles and oodles of celebratory items that I've got to cover. My last stream, Sunday evening, I reached a peak viewership of 289 viewers at one point on that stream. That is a brand new record for the tribe. Our best record before that was 133, and you guys know I couldn't believe that 133 folks tuned in that night. So we had great success with that. So great that the actual stream itself, I'm happy if I can get 1,500 views after a stream. That's fine. I'm not worried about anything. This one has hit 9,100 views, but it doesn't stop there. I told you I had a lot of items tonight, didn't I? I took a 10-minute clip out of that stream. I did no editing other than the usual dropping in a soundtrack, boosting the sound, things like that. But I did no editing between scenes. From the very beginning of that video, it's just me talking about the situation. And that video, it's still reading less than this on YouTube right now. But over in my analytics, it's been confirmed that new video has hit 52,000 views. All right. Another tribal victory. All right. So, anyway, what does that mean for tribal growth? Well, the last time I announced where we were at 45,600 subscribers, and I didn't get a chance to tell you that we had hit 45,700 subscribers, because I'm just now telling you we've hit 45,800 subscribers, hundreds of new subscribers coming in just a matter of days. It's been an amazing growth. And by the way, we are well over one third of our way to hitting 45.9. Okay, so if you are one of those new subscribers, you are welcomed here. We have the whole tribal forum is set up for me to connect with you. Besides my prepared videos, right? And I can respond to you in the here and now. And especially midweek, we get a little more chance to do that than in my hour time zone on Sunday. Okay, so I'm still getting, and I can see it. It'll grow 20 and then it'll shade off at 17 and grow another 20, shade off. So people are saying they're being unsubscribed. Always check to see if you are still subscribed to me. Always check to see if you've got that bell notification clicked. That's even more important when I go live, right? I mean, if you're going to want to see um, my live streams, then you're going to want to be notified about it. I'm trying to make it easy for everybody. Just remember, it's my intention right now. I just announced this on the last live stream, uh, that I will be streaming at 5 o'clock both days, Sundays and Wednesdays. But that's 5 o'clock my time. That's Pacific Standard Time, right here in California. So adjust your own time zones accordingly, and then you'll see me coming up. I'll do my best to be there every time. Now, the voice you hear in the background is my wife going absolutely crazy, and evidently we've got a super thanks, don't we? Bill Hawkins right off with a $20 super thanks. Thank you, brother. And Ben Scheideker's already been in. Let me see if I still have Ben on the list here. If not, I got a photo of him. There it is, Ben Scheideker. And guess what? He says, "Congrats on Tribal Forum number 50, Michael. We are the tribe." And a $2 super thanks there. And Ben, I gave you a response on that. Yeah, we're celebrating tonight, no doubt about it. Uh, Bill Hawkins in with a wonderful $20 super thanks, says, "Ben MIA. And if you're going to sit in a chair performing, Ozzy's chair is the bomb." Oh, I so agree. I so agree. Of course, he's that's all we've been talking about for the last week, and we'll talk a little bit about Black Sabbath tonight again. It's still a hot topic, you know. Everybody's wondering all of a sudden. And you know what? 2 weeks ago, Royce and I couldn't sell a video on this subject, so we do feel a bit vindicated, right? Uh, So I've covered that aspect, and also um, I just want to say to the tribe, um, celebrate good times. Come on. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart because we wouldn't be experiencing these numbers unless you were supporting us and you have touched my heart. And tonight, I just kind of wanted to chit chat with you fellas, uh, with you folks. There's so many females out there now. It's not just fellas anymore, is it? It's not quite the boys' club it was 2 years ago. We have a lot of female tribal members, right? But before we get going on this whole idea of a farewell show, and stories connected around it. Okay. I do have to make amends to a whole group of people. Every stream, I always give shout outs to those who give me a super thanks on the preceding stream. It's just what I do of saying thank you so much, right? It's a final adieu to your wonderful super thanks. And last Sunday's stream, we had so much to accomplish. I was still going to include, but I was jam packed, so focused, I didn't get to it. Oh, did Dan show up? Oh, thanks so much. Oh, wow. Let me check this out. Oh, nice. Oh, okay. He says, congrats on all good news, all the good news. I know there are bigger things to come. I agree, Dan. I hear there's bigger things coming your way. I'll be quiet, but a little birdie told me, you know. So I always say this: if Royce in the house is my brother channel, then that makes me, hey, I'm Maka. Royce is my brother channel, and yeah, Dan is my other brother channel, right? So I fully support Dan's channel, and thank you so much. A $10 super thanks from Dan McNew. And Dan is always on the panel now. He's returned, folks. Royce and I were chomping at the bit in the background and always lamenting the fact that we didn't have access to Dan for a bit, but he's back. All right. Thank you so much, Dan. Which gets me to the super thanks I didn't cover on Sunday stream. And so forgive me. It'll take me a second to get through this. I'm just going to read the list and try, to understand I can't go at the pace and respond to each one like I usually do because there's so many of you. Once again, to each and every person that I mentioned here, a super big heart to each and every one of you. Matt, triple heart. All right. Brett Glasso, $5 super thanks. Ben Scheidecker, $5. Deuces Wild, $5. Deuces Wild and again in with an additional $2. And Ben Scheidecker with a $2 super thanks. Then came Deuces Wild with a $10 super thanks. $5 from Michael Boswell. Thank you, Michael. Rockin' Robin Bird, the divine Rockin' Robin Bird. $2. Thank you, darling. Irger Splitten Loudenboomer. $2 from the Irger Splitten Loudenboomer himself, right? Okay, and Ben Scheidegger, $2. Michael Boswell, $2. P401, aka Paul, 4,000, and I'm not sure if that was dinero or what, but thank you, Paul. Joseph Blue with $2. And Joss with $5. Okay, and I'll get to you in a second, Rockin' Robin Bird. Evidently, my wife's out. She's out there. Yeah. Oh no! So give me just a second because I've got names here. Michael Boswell, $2. John Foster, $5. Deuces Wild, $20. Rockin' Robin Bird again. $2, and I'll be mentioning her in a minute. Oh my goodness, who is this? This is Deuces Wild. I'll be right with you, Deuce and Rockin'. Irgit Splitten Ladenboomer with another $2. Stephen Fox, $5. Michael Boswell again, $2. Ben Scheidegger, $5. Oberheim, $7. Irger splitting back in with a $10. Mega Wet Willie, which was his first time in. I remember that clearly with a $5 super thanks. Deuce is Wild, $5. Deuce is Wild again in with another $5 immediately after that. Ben Scheidegger for how many times? $5. And Franco Blondie. And we all had a good discussion around Clint Eastwood just because of this guy's moniker. Franco Blondie with a $2 and then repeated that with another $2. J.P. Salazar, $5. Mr. C, $2. Just the Facts Man, we've heard from him today, $10 on Sunday. Storm Cop, 55. James W. You know, I think the W stands for wicked, baby. You know, but thank you so much, James. $20. He's my oldest patron, so I'm always going to kind of nod to him a bit. All right. Then did I get Mega Wet Willie? Came in twice. That's right. I was making sure I wasn't misreading this. With another $5 super thanks. Thank you so much. $10 from Deuces Wild. Just the Facts Man with another $10. With 5 memberships, hon. Okay, I'll get right to you, folks. Let's see. I've got one more list here to read. Oh my goodness. Joss came in with $5. Agent Pepsi won, and you certainly are number one, darling. $5. Rockin' Robin Bird. Whoops. It's somebody vying for first place. Sorry, Agent Pepsi won with $2. Deuces Wild with $2. Irgish splitting in so many times with an additional $2. Big Boy Oz and Synchronicity, Mr. Synchronicity himself, with a $5. Wow. And thank you and a good day to you. Rockin' Robin Bird with $2 and Oberheim closing the evening, or he actually opened that evening, I think, with his $7 super thanks. Thank you so much. And sorry we had to take that much time, but things have been going crazy. All right, so let me get over here and see what I've missed. Just the Facts Man, congrats. Okay, I got you, Dan. So let me get on down here. Rockin' Robin Bird with a $2, the power of two. And here she gives you guys a message. She says, "You rock, tribe." And thank you so much, Rockin' Robin Bird. Deuces Wild in with a $5 super thanks. Congratulations on 50 streams. Thank you, Deuce. Here's to 50 more and infinity, and I'll even add, and beyond. Oh, Lord. Ordered my mug Saturday. Can't wait to get it. Will look out for it. You know what? All I can say, Deuce, I ordered my third incarnation, and Kimberly and I are kind of we look kind of like both mugs. We may make these both. I may increase the size of this image in the long run, but as you can tell, there's something about this. It's very simple design, but I like the way it speaks it, and this is the flavor of the channel. I've always imagined the tribe on some mythical island, right, with palm trees and all of that, and uh, plenty of electronics and all of that, but separate from the world and united in classic rock. So that's what that design is all about. Thank you, Deuce. I appreciate it so much. And then Irger Splitting Rumor, my goodness, you're so active. Sent 5 Michael Noland bottom of the line memberships. And make no mistake, by the way, tomorrow I have to shoot. I'm behind in my memberships video. I'm going to see if I can do a two-parter and kind of release them one after another and get caught up on there. But there's hundreds of videos over there that you haven't seen on this channel, first of all. So if you get this, the one caveat when somebody does this, and Irga Splitten knows this quite clearly, that you can't just click on it first come first serve. So the algorithm decides which of the viewers it's going to offer. If you get a chance, click on that, and then you'll find out really what this tribe's all about, a little bit more about me over there, as a matter of fact. All right. And so thank you so much. And that right there is like a $25 super thanks. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Now, let me see. Have I gotten done with all of the tribal stuff? We talked about the merch. And by the way, I was sure to get the merch into this stream's. All you have to do is click on the title, folks, right? And it'll take you to the description box. Look at that. Tribal store right there. You click your favorite. It's not giving me my. Uh, there we go. And it'll take you right to the tribal. This one's set for the current tribal mug, the latest design. Right there, you go. Come on. We've talked about how Kimberly's iPad, which is what I'm using here, uh, is haunted, and so it's not going. Anyway, it'll give you a picture of the mug and all of that, and on the back side is a picture of yours truly, a mug for a mug, and certainly that's about as far as I'm ever going to be able to take. Get to any point where I'm beyond just another mug on YouTube. All right, I'm frantically trying to get back to uh, my live stream here, folks. Somehow it got jambled when um, Kimberly's iPad took it out on me. Yeah. The damn thing's got it in for me, sweetie. There is no doubt about it. All right. So, first of all, I wanted to cover a couple articles by UCR. This was an article that I was going to cover not on last Sunday stream, but the Sunday before that stream, right? And the whole channel at that point just took on a whole different complexion because Royce and I just decided to go full hog in on this concert with Ozzy, and we've been so busy doing it. Please, yeah, thank you. That's like the fourth attempt as I tried to talk and chew gum at the same time. All right, so this, like I said, this was the article I wanted to cover. I thought this was a pretty big, okay. So first of all, let's go back in time. All right. Uh, I first discovered Aerosmith when Toys in the Attic came. So pretty young in my life. I've been an in and out fan of them, just depending on what albums they had, what material they were doing at the time. I collected most of their albums. I love this band. They definitely be in my top 25 bands for sure of all time. All right. And that's on a picky list. And trust me, if you saw my list of top 50, you'd say, okay, yeah, that's a pretty good ranking for them. Right. So they've always been important to me. They're a big act to me, right? I love Steven Tyler's entire presence, his presentation, his vocal capabilities, his songwriting capabilities, what the band produced, all in all. And then we got to the point where, after many years of touring, not touring, years touring, no, touring, right? They finally said the final farewell tour, which kind of gets us into what we're going to be talking about tonight, final farewell shows, right? So, and they got, what was it, folks? Three shows in, and they had to cancel because basically Steven Tyler broke his larynx. I mean, it got down to that, just absolutely broke his voice. And they then shortly after announced that they are permanently retired from touring because of that. And the prognosis at first wasn't very good. I covered that. I thought that was kind of a done and dead, kind of subject, right? And I thought, yeah, that's it. Steven Tyler. Now, I saw some articles talking about, he's going through rehab, but, I also saw a lot of articles about Ozzy going through rehab, and that wasn't doing him much good. And any kind of injury that breaks an entire farewell tour and the hundreds of millions of dollars that was lost because of that uh, has to be a serious issue. And the initial reports were pretty negative, and all of a sudden, but there were reports, and I tended, to be honest with you, to kind of ignore them. And evidently, uh, whatever kind of rehabilitation Steven Tyler is going through, um, it's working, because this gets back to the ultimate farewell show, I think, in history for rock and roll, anyway, and that would be the Black Sabbath Back to the Beginning show, right? And they were magnificent. I've already done it. Matter of fact, the videos I've been talking about that did so well are some of my thoughts on that show, and you can watch that after the stream, okay, to kind of catch up on it. But and I said this over on Royce, but if none of you, if there were some of you, I should say, that weren't watching that stream immediately after my stream, you didn't hear too much of me saying that Steven Tyler, to me, was the he was the ultimate showman, and I think he was the star of the show. Now, that doesn't take anything away from Top Bill, Black Sabbath. It was wonderful. I wouldn't have even watched the damn show if it hadn't been for Black Sabbath. Plain and simple. It just wouldn't have been something I would have been interested in. Okay. Not for $30 online. Okay. I just wouldn't, even though as I went through the concert, I was pleasantly surprised by a couple of bands that I thought I didn't like, and very pleasantly confirmed that some bands I didn't like weren't any better that day than they ever were, and for various reasons, right? So I think he did a bang up job. Steven Tyler pulled off one of the best comeback shows I've ever seen with his performance and his rendition on a whole lot of love. That's the one that sold me. He was already on fire, but that's the one that grabbed me. And I'm wondering if Jimmy Page is out there right now looking up, Tyler's number, Well, I can't get Robert to comply these days. Maybe you and I could do something. Wouldn't that be something? But anyway, prior to this surprise, by the way, he wasn't announced to be there, folks. He showed up. He just showed up and said, "Hi, I'm Steven," and knocked our freaking socks off. You know, let me know in the comments, because when I get to talking to you folks after I present these couple of articles, I want to know, how do you think he was the best thing up there? Or do you think, he was one of the best, but he wasn't that good, Michael? Or I thought he sucked. Let me know. But I thought he did real good. And here's my criticism of his actual performance: he doesn't have the range. He couldn't hit the top note, the squeal notes, right? And he had obviously backing singers filling in there and singing falsetto, so they weren't trying to mimic him. So I didn't feel like I was being ripped off when they supplied that. But then he'd do the harmony underneath that, still powerful and still extremely high, powerful vocals. I thought his vocals were absolutely outstanding, whether I had known that he had been injured or not. Say I had just kind of fallen off the turnip truck and didn't know much about Steven, except that back in the day I knew him with Aerosmith, and I just happened on to that video. I would have been damned impressed. Well, in this UCR article that I was going to cover before we ever saw Steven, right? They were interviewing Joe Perry, and the article says this: Joe Perry said he and his Aerosmith bandmates haven't ruled out the possibility of a final show, provided Steven Tyler is well enough to perform. So we've seen Steven be well enough to perform. Uh, Joe hasn't ruled out, the band hasn't ruled out the possibility of a final show. So, what does that tell you, folks? Right? The Rockers postponed and ultimately canceled their Peace Out Farewell tour after just 3 shows, and announced their retirement from the road last August due to Tyler, right? Tyler has since performed at a handful of private events.
Oh my goodness, Agent Pepsi just came in with the super things.
Oh, I'll get right to you, darling. Thank you so much. Let me finish this portion of the article and I'll be right with you. Uh,
Sweetheart.
so it says Tyler has since performed at a handful of private events, including an April performance with Perry at what was that? Oh, Janie's Fund benefit show in San Francisco, and in a new interview with Eddie Trunk on Sirius XM. Trunk Nation, boy, name drop, name drop, name drop. Can you imagine somebody doing that? By the way, if you haven't subscribed, just hit oh, okay. All right, I'm a hypocrite. But good Lord, it's like you got the letters after a doctor or a lawyer or something, they just keep piling up. You can't keep up. Um, Perry said Aerosmith could still take on one final show. Um, Now he says we talk probably a couple of times a week, and we played together up at a charity up in San Francisco. We're talking about it. I mean, except for anything on the calendar, well, we're all alive and well, so we'll just have to wait and see. I know there's got to be at least one more Aerosmith gig, and I'm not looking forward to putting the set list together for that show, right? So, what does that tell you guys, right? And this is an article that goes back 2 weeks now by this time. Plenty of time before Steven Tyler even showed up unannounced at the Back to the Beginning show. So I think it's all being planned, right? You know me, I follow these things, I get a whiff of things, and not too unoften I'm right about things. This tells me this was all planned. That Steve and Tyler showing up for the show. And don't get me wrong, I think he loves Ozzy. Notice when they were doing the photos around the throne, how often he was right next to Ozzy, clinging on to him, right, guys? Right. I mean, a couple of photos, he's sitting on the armrest of the throne, clinging on to Ozzy, right? He's not a shy guy, but yeah, putting himself right front and center, showing up at the biggest event unannounced. And again, I think that's something Royce and I called right from the get go. This is a big event, and a lot of people didn't think it was at first, and a lot of people doubted.
Just came in with a super thanks, hon.
Oh, thank you, Josh. Coming your way. Yeah, because I got to get. I'm behind in a couple, aren't I, darling? So that's my question to you guys. All right. Now I got to get up here. Was it Agent Pepsi or did I miss one before her, darling?
Yes, Agent Pepsi.
It's Agent Pepsi I got to get to. Okay. $5. Thank you, darling. Agent Pepsi 1 says, it was Sammy Hager for me. He looked and sounded amazing at his age. I was pleasantly surprised with the entire show. Yes, final shows are here. Okay, good point. And I even said I thought his chops were there. I'm a longtime Sammy Hager fan. I'm a little disappointed in the man these days on how he treated Jason Bonham. I don't think it was his place to fire anybody because they were four supposedly, of course, Hager's name was first on the bill, but they were supposedly four co-equals being billed together. And I was very disappointed in him. I think Royce agrees with me on that too. A lot of you agree with me on that. I've seen in the comments. Some of you disagree, and that's fine. Um, and was spot on. I didn't notice it, but somebody on another channel mentioned that he messed up the lyrics. Okay, not badly, but just kind of messed up the lyrics on the song. And what song was that? Um, anyway, it was the Montreux song that he was doing, and I like that. So the way I've been feeling about him probably would give you a clue why I didn't pick up on the mistake. I was almost haphazardly watching him, but I did acknowledge to Kimberly what he still does have his chops. And then, I could have mended fences at that point. And then he makes this big announcement to the crowd that this is bigger than just Birmingham. And the whole crowd goes, "Oi, yeah, someone shut that mouth." I mean, no, they weren't having it. They weren't having it. That was him being insensitive, firing Jason Bottom being insensitive. But as far as how good he sounded, yeah, he's still in top form. He's still in top form. Absolutely agree with you, Agent. Okay. Then we have Joss or JOS with a $5 super thanks. He says that Sharon knows Ozzy is a cash cow. Uh, she's she's going to milk him for all he's got till he's dead. I think Ozzy will still record, but not tour. Yeah. Well, she definitely. I always look at her as, yeah, she's a cash cow, but not just using Ozzy. I think she loves the man. I do. But you can't beat an Arden out of an Arden with a stick. Okay. And you got to recognize her stock, where she comes from, what her set of family values and everything really are. I mean, how was she raised and all of that. Uh, we've seen them publicly, of course, a lot of it staged at home, but you kind of get a groove about what's going on. So she's not one of my favorite people at all. And you think she'll stop when he's dead? Oh, come on, Josh. Then she'll just get started. Discography time. What shall go out, what shall not, or whatever power she can exert, she'll be there. She'll be the ultimate widow for him, you know. She'll wear it on her sleeve. There's no doubt about it. And then he says, I think Ozzy will record, but not tour. And let me make sure. Yeah, that gets it all. Yeah, he stated that. He says, I'm not, matter of fact, there was a couple articles out later that I was looking at where he says, no, everybody's getting it wrong. This is me retiring. Oh, I see that. Oh, Stephen, good to see you, brother. Let me check this out.
Oh, that's so nice of
I was just loading up the second article I wanted to cover, and the main article I wanted to cover tonight for or from UCR. And in order to do that, I have to switch windows. Stephen Fox, a $2 super thanks. The power of two. Michael, what's your five-song Aerosmith song set? Yeah, I'd have to think about that, brother. I'd have to think about that. Now you're setting me up for one of my videos. See, because if I just pounded them out now, no, I'm not going to do that. But look for a future video. Matter of fact, you know what? I owe you guys an extra video on my members side. Darling, remind me. I want to handle that. I'll take care of that then, Stephen. Okay, because that's hard. You've got early, you got the mid, you've got the latter. you know.
Yeah.
And some albums I love, some people don't. Honking with Bobos, like yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
my kind of rock and roll or blues rock and roll. I love that. I even liked what was that push? What was it? Push play, whatever, with the feminine robot on it. So I even liked their latter period. So I'd have to, I just haven't ever thought of that. So give me some time and I'll respond to you on that. All right, brother. Thank you. Um, so where was I? Oh, I was at that article, wasn't I? Okay. So UCR just put out an article because ever since, now you got to understand, UCR is the article that was covering the Joe Perry interview. The same UCR that didn't know that evidently that Steven Tyler would show up at the Back to the Beginning concert. And then right after that, tailing in comes UCR again with more on this. This is the first article that I found on people talking about this subject of a farewell show. Because once I had that first article, I was already uh, willing and able to do this stream covering this bit of information because I already had a whiff. And then when he showed up, I immediately made my next stream based on that. And then I went and found this article. Now, dig this. It says the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame had a long run as the biggest honor a rock star can aspire to, but the bar has been raised. Well, when you're talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, any bar lifted an inch or two would probably be raising the bar, first of all. Good Lord. These publications, they're all in bed with each other, folks. Saturday night's Back to the Beginning concert, honoring the work of Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne while serving as the singer's last ever live performance, set a new standard for rock and roll career celebration. Ah, well, I could dig that. We're kind of celebrating tonight, aren't we, Try?
Yes,
Okay. Okay, so let's get in for a penny, and in for a pounding. I mean a pound. Okay, here we go. For 9 hours, the biggest names in hard rock and heavy metal, including Guns N' Roses, Metallica, yay, Slayer, and Pantera, 50-50, paid tribute to the guest of honor by playing dozens of Sabbath and Osbourne covers, in addition to their own popular songs. Yeah, and you know what? Who was it that gave me the super thanks just now? Was that John?
that was Joss.
Josh. That was
Yeah,
Josh. You know
Joss.
what, Josh? The more I'm thinking about this, we're going to have to carry this on to another live stream. You damn right. I should give it the same treatment that we've done with Black Sabbath. We did our wish list, right? Well, what would you like them to cover? And of course, I'm hoping they would be able to do a much larger set. But if you are talking about them doing a farewell tour in the exact same way as this article, that's a future stream. I can promise you that. The more I think about it, see, it's always in the back of my head. Um, so it talks about who were there, playing dozens of Sabbath and Osbourne covers, in addition to their own popular songs. Well, they would have been insane not to do that. Osborne and the original lineup of Black Sabbath concluded the evening with brief sets of their own naturally saving classics such as Train and Iron Man for themselves. Sure would have wished they had saved um, the song Black Sabbath for themselves and performed that. That was an absolute. I feel like we should have gotten an encore. I feel a tad ripped off. It looked like Ozzy could go back, one more song, and Indeed, if he is bad off and this wound up killing him, I'd feel horrible for saying what I'm going to say here, but I feel a bit ripped off, you know? Uh, and I think we should have gotten paranoid as the encore, and the whole set should have. I would have been happy with everything else, but then start with the song Black Sabbath, right? Um, Anyway, it says, perhaps best of all, instead of sharing the spotlight and an audience with a half a dozen or more artists from diverse genres, like Osborne did at his recent Rock and Roll Hall induction, we've talked about that. See the connection? Remember what I said about Sharon Osbourne and those trillions and trillions of interviews that we had to endure a year and a half prior to Ozzy uh, actually getting the nod. I've also said I think he's worthy of the nod. So I wasn't too upset, but I never forget how decisions were made. Remember what I said. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was in a bind. And it was Jan Winter, their former CEO, head of the board, who had made some statements that don't. I'm not going to get into it. I've covered it in. They were misogynistic and racist statements concerning his book and why he did not feature black rock and roll artists or female rock and roll artists, and that put them. They threw him off the board. They've been trying to distance themselves, but this is an in crowd. Most of them were put in place by Jan Winter. Them distancing themselves is a reluctant move on their part, as clearly everything out of the mouth of his replacement, John Sykes, proves every time he opens up his damn mouth. Okay. So keep all of that in mind, how all of this fits in together and, how they started this article. Oh, well, that used to be but this could be, right? And also keep in mind, we're talking about bands, although watch it get younger. But we are talking about bands that are so far gone, there is no freaking way they could tour. But this could even eke out a few people out of the cobwebs for one show, right? And the billions of dollars that could be made on a set of shows like this. This is why this is important. This is why I jump on this shit early because I want to be in on the ground floor when we see the ground shift. Okay. You don't want to be on story 10 right about there. Okay. And so I see, I've been following the money with Ticketmaster, Live Nation on this channel, right? It's been a while since we've talked about that. We'll get back to them in the future, I can guarantee you. But all of this stuff is connected, including articles written. Somebody's paid to write this article, right? And just like at Rolling Stone magazine, uh, you write what Jan Winter wanted you to write, not what you thought. And I've proven that
75
before.
people. We're doing good.
Oh, good. That's great. Yeah, you said 75?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real good for the midweek, ain't it, baby?
Yes.
Oh, welcome to each and every one of you. Uh, so that's what they're talking about. Uh, all 45,000 people at the concert held in the band's birthplace of Birmingham, Birmingham, England. Sammy, Birmingham, England. Remember why Black Sabbath wanted to do this show. They wanted to close out on their home grounds. In between the sets, Sammy, I'm talking to Hager. Uh, weren't you watching the in between testimonials from the people of Birmingham? The small little vignettes of how Birmingham, embraces Black Sabbath. It's a different kind of uh, citizenship here in Birmingham. It was important for them to end their show there, and it very insensitive. At what he said. The article continues. To put it simply, this event was a home run. Duh. So the next natural question is, oh, really? You're the same people who already put out an article 2 weeks ago about Aerosmith possibly doing a final show. Exactly what we're talking about here. But here it is. Here's their current question. So the next natural question is, and pre-planned, who else can we do this for? Of course, only the most popular and influential artists draw the audience and peer support to complete with the scale of Back to the Beginning. Still, there are some very strong and enticing candidates. And of course, number one, surprise, surprise, that they bring up to bat is Aerosmith. Okay? That's the first one. Number two, Van Halen. Not sure how that's going to work. Yeah, you know how it's going to work, right? All right.
Oh,
Van Halen. Uh, I smell a Wolfgang in the air. You know, the same Wolfgang who swears he wasn't let go. Some of you called me on my bullshit. Sharon didn't fire him because nobody was being paid. I just used that as a colloquialism, you know, But let's go back to the firing, idea. You know, Wolfgang said the reason oh no, I wasn't fired, or I wasn't put off the show. You see, I have my tour the next day starting, so I couldn't be there. And then we find out, no, that was 4 days after the show. He had plenty of time to get there, and he still didn't show up. We still don't know, unless it's come out while I'm busy streaming, who Sharon Osbourne let go, right? Then they bring up Iron Maiden. Now, here's what they said. Let's be clear. There's no induction indication that Iron Maiden is anywhere near close to wrapping up their career. After all, they are still selling out arenas and stadiums around the world. But their career to this point certainly warrants such a celebration. Why did I read that? Because UCR is connected to all the people in the power brokers, and they're suggesting down the line, they're planning years ahead for, and that's why I started this whole stream off asking the question, are we in the era of the final farewell show? I think we are. An era would be like 10 years at least, right? An era, a small era, within a whatever, but an era. And they're planning for the future here. AC/DC, again, as with Iron Maiden, AC/DC certainly don't need any help selling out stadiums on their own and seem to have even less patience with music industry ass kicking sentimentality. They haven't even released a greatest hits album, you know? Isn't that something? The Rolling Stones, they're saying. Now, that's interesting because they are getting up there in age. Um, Nick, Mick, I called him Nick. Mick is still, relatively at the top of his game for what he lacks vocally. Energy at his age is good, and he's an icon. I understand people wanting to go see him. And same thing with Richards, okay. But Richards is making mistakes, okay, live, lots of mistakes. Uh, I can't see that going on forever. However, they've got a brand new album out, or that will be coming out. That's two albums within a 3-year period, something like that. That's almost like the good old days, right? Got a tickle in my throat. So I could see them like maybe 5 to 7 years down the line. Let them milk a few more tours, And then the big fine. See, you can see how they're setting this up. Of course, they mentioned Ozzy. Let's see who else. And then it gets on in there. Those were their four supposed or five supposed candidates that they were suggesting, and I found it quite interesting because they were. You know, okay, I'm getting a message that just buzzed through there. Sorry, folks. So they're planning for the future. This could be a new, it's kind of like Foreigner planning for the future. I was calling that before. They're going to tour until the 2030s, folks. Nobody believed me, or a whole lot of people didn't believe me. And that looks exactly like what they're doing right now, well beyond the already hyperly extended 2027 as being their last year. Okay. There's money in it. They're going to ring it. They're going to ring it until it just comes out like blood from a turnip. And that's all that they have to do. But I was thinking, so since they're doing this big, final farewell tour, then comes the B teams that'll do it too. That's going to draw. I hate to say the flies, but what do you get when you've got people who've got one or two members left? I was thinking the Moody Blues. You have the bass player. You've got the primary writer. Bass player wrote quite a bit too. They certainly would probably be, in my opinion, the McCartney and Lennon of the band.
James says your voice is breaking up. I wonder
Is it?
If that's on our end or his end.
I don't know. How is my voice, folks?
Yeah, it'd be good to know. Just
let
know if it's coming from us or what.
Voice really scratchy, Michael.
It's scratchy.
Okay.
Static. I wonder if that's on our end or YouTube's end.
Yeah, everybody's saying it. Yeah. The only thing that I could possibly do, and how long have we been going? Been going about an hour, haven't we?
Yes.
What do you guys think if I shut down and promise you another stream, say in about 15 to 20, 30 minutes, something like that? What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
Dan
says we can understand you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, it'll be split. You're so sweet.
Another stream. Yeah. Heck yeah. Another stream.
And Divining Dragon said, go for it.
Okay, so it's 6 o'clock.
Dan said it's better now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Has it gotten better?
Bill Hawkins says it's cleared up.
It's cleared up.
Okay,
it's not bad anymore. Yeah. It's not a bad Brenda. Hi, Brenda. She says it's not bad enough to stop.
Okay.
Joseph is saying it's cleared up.
Yeah.
It goes in and out.
So it's
Good
on
Lord.
YouTube side.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. How you doing, Royce? I see you in there.
Yeah. Dan.
Yeah, he's mentioning Alice Cooper. I already got that album ordering. I keep checking, shipping arrangements just in case they might release it a day or two. They're not gonna. It's coming out. What is that? July 20 something. I can't wait for it. Love the first two tracks I've heard. I've heard some people, a couple of, content creators in the vinyl community thinking it wasn't all so hot. And I'm going, wow. How upper crust of you. I thought it was ass kicking, very Alice Cooper-ish songs. He even takes on more of that snide quality that he would offer more with the original Alice Cooper. Not that he doesn't do it in his solo, but we're talking that real treble. Oh, Josh, I'm going to get in there. I may have missed somebody here too, didn't I?
You're so wonderful, Josh.
Did I miss somebody, baby?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay, good. Josh in with a $2 super thanks. Thank you. They will go the way of avatars and never die. Good Lord. Johnson, then you had to bring that up. Yeah, but yeah, these guys, I got to tell you, there are those in the comments that know how to push my buttons. They've been with me since the onset. People go way back to right about 3 years ago, maybe a few of you, even before that, when I wasn't even a rock channel. I go back about, uh, well, yeah, I started, my first video was October 28th, 2021. But I didn't turn this channel kind of into a rock channel. I was kind of doing tutorials way over my head in what I was doing. But it was, that's how I started. And then it finally dawned on me, duh, me am smart, can lift heavy objects. You're a musician, Michael. You're a rock fan. You seem to have this. Your wife accuses you of having encyclopedic knowledge available in your brain. You don't know my weaknesses in that encyclopedia of knowledge, but what I do remember, I know a lot about and stuff. And you would have thought, well, why don't you make a channel about that, Michael? No, I was going to do something else. But it was 2022, February 15th, I dedicated this channel to rock and roll. Okay, so this last February, we just finished 3 years, right? And we aren't even 3.5 years old as a rock channel yet. We're coming up on 3.5 years here very shortly, right? And so we've covered stuff, and these people know, you know, they know me. They know me. And Josh is no different. I'm not a fan of the Avatar shows. I fear they may indeed be the future. That what all that reminds me of? Everybody else goes, well, it's that Lincoln automatron at Disneyland. Well, that was probably the beginning of it, you know. But way back in the day, first generation Disneyland had that. They may still have it, but I remember it being there. Watched that, animatronics and all of that. So this, you would think this is an extension of that, but that's not what that reminds me of. And there's no reason why, but the first picture that comes to me is the world. What was that? Demolition Man, Sylvester Stallone, and Wesley Snipes. And everybody there is, their idea of radio is, oh, pop, fizz, fizz, oh, what a relief. All the old commercials, right? Because they were so non-productive and whipped into shape as a society that fine dining was Taco Bell. I mean, good Lord. And to me, Avatar shows is rock and roll Taco Bell, man. I want to dine on something a little more delightful than that. I am not a fan of the idea of Avatar shows. Now, if you want it as a ride at Disneyland and go that route, go for it. Okay, I might even go in it, but I'm not going to pay serious rock and roll dollars and try to perpetuate. You know, I mean, good Lord, what's what's next? Robot husbands and robot girlfriends. You know where this all goes. So, yeah, push my button, Josh. You did that definitely. Um, so, yeah, with 5 artists that we were talking about there. So when you,
Oh my goodness, hon, we
oh
just
my
got
goodness,
you
what's this?
Ergus Clinton.
Oh, right. He is offering a membership to somebody.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it. You're always there, man. And that's like a $5 super thanks. Thank you so much. I already explained if that comes up, take advantage of it, folks. Deuce as well with a $5 super thanks. A concert of classic rock survivors, Aerosmith. Moody Blues. Oh boy, now you're okay. Deuce is in to mix the whole thing up here. Um, a concert of classic rock survivors: Aerosmith, Moody Blues, ZZ Top, Grand Funk, Railroad. Sorry, I'm so used to it being shortened. I agree, it should be Railroad. Rolling Stones, Kiss. I'd watch for that indubitably. You sent me a hard word. All right, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, and then we were talking about, and that kind of reminds me. And then you get to the B team, and I kind of think, I mean, on my list, the Moody Blues were in my top 13 bands of all time. Did they survive it? I put it up to the tribe, and you guys voted on a whole new list. Let's see. Yeah, Moody Blues did not retain their Mount Rock Olympus um, level on this channel. If it was up to me, that's where they'd be. I think they're that truly great of a band. But there's only two of them really now, and yeah, and they are very. I'd love to see the two of them tour, you know, and that's what they're doing separately, or I would like to see them try. I'd go watch them. I gotta tell you, um, John's the videos I've seen on John's tour are pretty low tech. He's using a lot of cheap keyboard shortcuts and stuff. And I guess he's playing a lot of Survivor Palooza.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah.
The doc has paid a house call. Oh my God. Oh God. That would be the final Woodstock concert, right? The bookend Woodstock concert. You have Woodstock, then you have something that happened there and nobody wants to watch it anyway. And then you've got Survivor Palooza, the bookends of classic rock. I swear to God, sometimes it seems like a lot of these people are just going to die dead on stage, right? A lot of people say that's what's going to happen to to Keith Richards and everything. Just amazing, absolutely amazing. But you can see the future unwind. I will be watching this. I'll be collecting, articles and anything that's out on the line. Other content creators that may have a line in all of this. And as soon as I can put in, I'm going to tell you the next move we're going to get. This is going to be my final sign off here tonight, folks. I am going to get in here and see who you are and mention you here before I sign off. But I'm going to tell you, um, this is going to be something that they are already planning. They see it. It's almost a necessity in one way, in that we're already getting the farewell tours and they're breaking down. Sometimes people start, then they stop, like Aerosmith. Some people start and they just won't stop, no matter who dies, no matter who's not up there, no matter who can't sing. We'll just put a recording behind there and I'll just go, right? That's what we're getting. That's what we're getting. So that's all breaking down. I've documented that from the beginning of my channel. All of that's breaking down now. We're starting to see it was not sustainable. And unfortunately, I've said it before, we have a shelf life. When you have a shelf life, there is an end. You can get to the point of no longer able to produce or even exist. They are human beings, rock gods, though they purport to be, but they are as fragile as you and I. Every week, I couldn't keep up with the people that got themselves hurt and had to cancel that concert for this. I'd have to make 3 videos a day to cover all of that. So I'd rather nest them all together, kind of wrap them up in a big snowball and throw it right at you guys. Okay? So that'll be the next step for this. And again, it wasn't John Foster that brought up the idea of Brady, he's just asking me, what would the set list? I see it as something of, yeah, the final show. We could do not just the set list. I want a bigger set list from Aerosmith. All right. They're all seem to be in a little bit better shape. And now that questions have been answered regarding Steven Tyler, I want to see a larger set list for that last show. Right. And it's good because if Steven is able to produce a longer set list, and once again, maybe his Achilles tendon is Ozzy can't walk and he can't sing beyond song 4, so we might get that. So I want to look at it from both ways: a shorter set list, and then if we dare to dream, a longer set list, and then who would be around them? I mean, Steven Tyler fit into heavy metal right there, but I've never seen. Aerosmith is a heavy metal band at all, hard rock, definitely. So, I would rather start coming up with some hard rock bands and artists that could be at that show. Uh, will I do that Sunday? What do you guys think? All right, so if you're watching this belatedly, you didn't make the show in time. Here's my question to the tribe tonight before I sign off and say goodbye to you fine folks here that I'm seeing. Uh, but what bands would you suggest that could show up at a final farewell Aerosmith show? All right, that would accommodate them in a way that would be appropriate. Okay, please no Blink 182. All right, you know what I'm talking about. That would make that show enticing. I know what it would make the show enticing for me, but see, I'm kind of semi-original, classic gen rock fan, right? I'm one of the young ones from the original generation, no doubt. But I was there. I was a teenager. The '60s were happening. I was a young teenager when the '16s were happening. So I was getting into the groove right around then, you know. And I know who I'd like to see, but I'd like to know who you guys think. All right. I just wanted to kind of acknowledge some of you fine folks for even showing up. What? First time I've seen you in the chat. That's it. That's his handle or their handle. If you're talking about bands from the '70s, sure, right? Rockin' Robin Bird's in here. Brenda, I already said hi. Christian, always nice to see you. People were concerned. We got that all rectified. We are tribal, you know. Ronald in. First time I've seen just the name Ronald in. Good to see you. Uh, who else came in to say hi today? Lumpy Gravy. Alice Cooper still going strong. Absolutely. I agree with that. Irgersplitten Ladenboomer himself into the tribe. Of course, I haven't called him Gear Jam all night, have I? We have Royce in the house, my brother from another mother. How you doing, Royce? I'll be over and watching the video you just put out. Now, earlier on, I informed everybody, and congratulations on hitting 2,000. If indeed that's happened, that was the scuttlebutt just before I got up. I told everybody you and I had been discussing things. I knew you were within 3 of getting that. Congratulations. No mean feat. Most content creators don't reach 1,000. You're already a winner by that, and you've doubled that. Absolutely amazing job. Bill Hawkins, and a thank you, Bill. Again, we talked to, Doc Insomnia, who came in with, what was his thing that he had? What was he calling it? Old Timers Palooza? No, it wasn't that. Oh, I'm not going to find it now. It's disappeared into the comments. Yeah. Alzheimer's Palooza. How's that sound, Doc? I see Derek Reinholtz? No, sounds like AM radio. Oh, about my sound? Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing that will be improving in future streams. Some of you have been saying we need a mic for Kimberly. And then that way she doesn't have to yell across the room and all of that. All of that's going to improve, folks. I guarantee it. Donna the Frank, good to see you, Frank. Keith makes mistakes because of arthritis in his fingers are terrible. His fingers look like king crab legs. Love Keith, no matter what. Definition of rock star. You're absolutely right there. And you're right about the fingers, those knuckles that just. But I had already read an article here was it on one of my streams, that he says that doesn't get in his way. And I brought out, well, if that's true, then there it is. Survivor Palooza. Thanks, Doc. Always there with a reminder, right? So anyway, yeah. So I agree, and James Redding's in. I hope you're doing well, brother. Always good to see. Yeah, it was. Is it still break? This is up earlier. When you're talking about my voice, I'm hoping that it cleared up, or at least is bearable. Uh, Bill Hawkinson, I already brought up. Joseph Blue, always good to see you there. Ronald, again, just by the single name. What did he have to say? That you scooped up on me. Aerosmith is better than Black Sabbath or Ozzy. Matter of taste, right? And there's times when I would agree with you. It depends on what mood I'm in. There's days when I get Black Sabbath down, and Aerosmith will just hit that sweet spot. Certainly one of my favorite bands. But like I said, probably 25, top 25 bands. Black Sabbath, definitely in my top 10. Brenda, good to see you. TJRS Classic Rock Corner. Brother, it's good to see you out there. Damn distortion on this, he says. Oh, TJR complaining? Nah, couldn't happen. Such a sweet guy. All right, brother. Sorry for that. You know it. I go over to his stream. I don't catch them all, but I catch them when I see them. If it gets into my feed and I'm sitting down, I love to watch it. Always say hi to you. Of course, Stephen Fox in earlier, Ben Scheidegger in right from the get go. Brock and Robin. Oh my goodness, so many of you. And a good day. Tip of the hat to you. Um, uh, Derek Reinholtz. I love that. Whatever works for you, he says. Whatever gets you through the. Yeah. Okay. And I think I've gotten most of you. I think I've said at least hello, the divine Caitlin. I don't think I said hi to Caitlin. I was over on her stream today. We're giving each other all kinds of shit over there, weren't we, Caitlin? Yeah. But it was a great show. I really enjoyed it. Today was a real cool, laid back show. Did a good job. Let's see, who else? So subscribe to Caitlin. Caitlin's Classic Rock Corner, or is it? Because it's changed since the first time. Go ahead and put your link in there, Caitlin, anytime you want to. Uh, Feels like I'm listening to Larry Lujak on WCFL in the 1970s. It's all good. Okay. Uh, some of you are atomic laden. Nothing shall pierce, your acceptance of accepting what you shall demand to see upon yourself, or something like that. Okay. I think I got you all here. So nice to see you. I hope I got you all. Big Boy Oz, tip of the hat. I said hello earlier. Ronnie Parker, good to see you. And he's given Divining Dragon a thumbs up. Anybody else? Darren Clark, one of our esteemed members. Yeah. Oh, did you get it? You received it. All right, Darren. Well, get on over there and I'll have a new one up for you within 48 hours, maybe a couple over there. And congratulations on that. And let's see, everybody else, you have to do this slowly or you're going to run over somebody. And if I have skipped anybody here, please forgive me because each and every one of you guys that have made your comments in here, each and every one of you that have watched me today, you're the thing that makes this go. And I appreciate it. And that's why I spend so much time, giving shout outs to those who, throw super thanks up at us or why I often mention, look, it's for the viewers primarily. And thank you so much. See how I segue into this for the 79 thumbs up we've got. You know what? If we can get 20, what is it? 21 more, the stream will get yet another bump up. Okay. All right, folks. I think that about does it for me. And I'm already writing Sunday's stream in my head based on a lot of what we were talking about tonight. And I'm going to have a package ready for you. You just won't believe it. Okay. All right. A big shout out to each and every one of you that are financially supporting this channel one way or another. You're keeping us going. I won't bore you guys with why that's important. It's in other streams, and the channel just suffices to say the channel had reached a point, and I had to make some decisions, and we switched gears and everything else. And in order to do that, a lot of you came to the aid of this channel, and we are metamorphosizing right before your very eyes. All right, I'm Michael Noland. This has been Tribal Forum number 50, and I'll see you guys on my next stream. Night, folks.